Hi, Kitsap County. This is Steph Dupuis with Dupuis Team at Keller Williams West Sound, along with
Cassandra Lopez with Dupuis Team, Keller Williams West Sound.
Exactly. And today we are have a special message for sellers. We're going to talk a little bit about the market and how sellers need to consider and approach whether they should sell or whether they should hold on to their property right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because we know a lot of you homeowners out there have questions, specifically the homeowners who are considering selling in the near future. So we want to make sure we address those for you. So, Steph, we've been hearing a lot in the media and online about this V-shaped recovery and what is projected for the market. So what is a V-shaped recovery?
A V-shaped recovery is a term we're hearing a lot right now, and it's simply what it says. It's a sharp decline in the market with a sharp increase, a sharp recovery. It's that simple.
So if that's the projected scenario, shouldn't sellers just wait to sell their homes?
Well, if you believe we're going to have a V-shaped recovery, that might be a good strategy for you. I don't think we're going to have a V-shaped recovery. So I would think that, that's a pretty risky gamble to take if I'm a home seller. And anything that we share is an opinion. It's our best guess on looking at data and experience. And so no one has a crystal ball. However, that being said, there's our disclosure. I feel pretty certain that looking at the data that we do have and the statistics, that we're not looking at a V-shaped recovery, and that we're probably going to be it's probably going to be many years before we see a recovery in the housing market from today's prices. We're at a peak right now, and if you like today's prices and you want to pull your equity, whether by selling or refinancing, right now is the time to do it.
Okay, that makes sense, but you seem to have a different opinion, Steph, from a lot of people. Why is your opinion different, and why are you so passionate about it?
I am passionate. I mean, you got poor people on the team have been listening to this for, I don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks. And a lot of people in our business that I respect feel we're going to have a V-shaped recovery. I've seen some indicators back in September. We started seeing some volatility in what's called the repo market, and the Fed started buying repos and commercial loans. You don't need to know what those are. What you do need to know is that's an indication of instability economically right now, and that's all it is. And then what I'm seeing right now is a domino effect that's going to cause us long-term issues in the housing market. And so what I'm seeing between unemployment, between what we're seeing in the loan industry, and culturally also, because now we have a situation where people can't work. Congress is talking about, universal basic income, situations like this. We might have a really long ride ahead of us, and potentially some neat things too, where the economy is in a deep recession and potentially a depression. I'm not an economist, however, looking at history and how these things progress, that's probably what we're more likely looking at. And I'm not saying that to scare people. I'm saying it because if you're a seller, what you need to do is look at, if that's the case, how long is it going to take for my house price to recover? Well, it's probably not going to be 3 years. The Great Recession took 10 years for many people to recover their house price.
Yep.
So if you plan to sell in the next 3 years, you might want to sell now because you're likely not going to recover that price. If you're a careful person and you plan to sell in the next 5 to 7 years, you still might want to sell now. It really depends on your personality and what your financial goals are.
Definitely makes sense. It's all a very individual experience. How likely do you think that is to happen? a long-term recession like you talked
I mean,
about.
like I said, I'm not I'm not an economist. I'm just simply a professional in the real estate industry. And I wasn't surprised when 2008 happened. And I want to point out too that whenever these things happen, there's always a positive to these things. I think economic situations like this are called corrections, and they're called corrections because they correct what isn't working. And corrections are good. You need to think about it differently, okay? And think about it in a way that can work well for you. And so a lot of people get disappointed when they hear about a correction because they focus on what they're going to lose. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're aware that the correction is likely to happen, and that's what we're telling you is this is likely to happen, then you can take financial steps to protect yourself financially. Mm-hmm. And that's all we're saying. Look at it this way. If you sell now, you might sell up here. Okay, if you're thinking of selling, you might sell up here at this high price. And if you don't sell and the prices don't go down, your price is still up here, but it might be down here. Which risk do you want to take? This is a given. The second choice is not a given.
And that's a good point. And that's a good segue into my next question, Steph, which is why is it so important for sellers to consider multiple scenarios like that?
That is I think the lesson of this video is to consider multiple scenarios. I think the message we want to communicate today is to sit down with a professional, sit down with a real estate agent, call us because we love doing this. I was on the phone for an hour today with somebody who didn't plan to work with us. They just called because they saw one of our videos and wanted to throw scenarios. And this is what we did. And we laid out, look at the bottom line was they had 3 choices. If they did choice A, this is the likely result, no crystal ball, but the likely result. And I think we can all guess sometimes what logical results are going to be.
Right.
Fair certainty. Choice B is this, and choice C will probably result in this. And then they can choose. And when you really reduce it down to simple choices like that, all of a sudden we feel like we have some control and some say in our future. We're able to make some calculated decisions. The opposite of looking at our choices and decisions is stress and chaos and fear.
I agree with that completely. I think, Steph, you and I are in the business of advising and providing information, and the more information we're able to provide and convey to our clients and the public in general, the better decisions they can make for their own individual circumstances. I always like to say you're purchasing your home as a residence first and as an investment second. So you purchased your home X amount of years ago. You lived in it. It was your residence. It still is. Now you need to start looking at it as an investment. Okay, if we were able to freeze time right now and look at where we are, take a snapshot, we are very like at the top of the market, and we'll be here for a short while. So you have a short window. Again, no crystal ball. We don't know what that timeline looks like.
For sure.
But it's likely that prices are probably not going to inflate much beyond where they are now. So
I'd be shocked.
What's that?
I'd be shocked if they
most surely. So if we could freeze time, be like, we are at the top of the market, hypothetically, likely, but again, no absolute statements here. Would it make sense to treat your home now as an investment, refi out your equity, stash it away? If the market doesn't crash, put it right back in your house, pay off that second. Or sell your house, take out the equity. Like, say we have a lot of military community. What if somebody's up for orders in a year and they're planning on moving? And they're going to why don't we do this? Sell your house now, pull out the equity that you're guaranteed to get, and just sit on it. Find alternative living situations for the next year. And when it's time for orders and you can move, free and clear, you don't have to sell a house underwater.
Exactly.
Scenarios that we can help you think through and work through.
For sure. And that's exactly well said. And there's countless scenarios too. And that's the fun of the game, is to run scenarios.
Yeah, everyone's situation is unique. We always love, like, problems, like, give us problems. We love solving them. That's what we do.
Professional problems.
Yeah, and we have yet to run across one we cannot manage.
It's true.
Help you advise.
It's true.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Yeah, thank you.
So, sellers, we think most people, if you're thinking of selling, need to sell now. And if you have questions about that, want to run the scenario by us, you have two people who would love to process that right here. Cassie and I love doing that. We have a whole team of brokers who, this is what we love doing. So do contact us. Leave your messages and questions below. We can have a conversation with
this was somebody who needs to see it.
Exactly, because others do need to see this right now. This is a community event. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Like us on Facebook. And I hear we're other places, but Kelsey will have to have all those. All right, because we're
media wide.
yeah, right. Thank you. It was wonderful seeing you this week, Kitsap County. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. At Stephanie Dupuis with Dupuis Team at Keller Williams West Sound with the wonderful
Cassandra Lopez with Dupuis Team at Keller Williams West Sound.
And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.